Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins History, where we dive into the stories behind some of the rarest and most valuable coins out there. Today, we're zooming in on a fascinating piece from the United States, the 1977 Roosevelt Dime. Now, you might think a dime from 1977 is just another everyday coin, but stick with me, because there's a lot more to this little piece of metal than meets the eye. By the end of this video, you might just be staring at your spare change a little differently. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency since it was first introduced in 1946. Designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the country through some of its toughest times, the coin carries a powerful legacy. On the front, you'll see Roosevelt's dignified profile, a tribute to his enduring impact. The reverse side features a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by olive and oak branches representing peace and strength, an iconic design that has hardly changed for over 7 decades. Now, focusing on the 1977 edition, this was a year where millions of Roosevelt dimes were minted, primarily at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The mint mark is crucial here. If your dime has a small d on it, that means it was minted in Denver. If there's no mint mark, it came from Philadelphia. Most coins from this year are fairly common, but the key to unlocking serious value lies in 2 main factors: condition and rare minting errors. Let's talk about condition first. Coins that have been circulated tend to lose their shine, their crisp details worn away by countless exchanges. But some 1977 Roosevelt dimes survived in mint condition. These coins look almost brand new, with every detail sharp and clear. Collectors call these mint state coins, and they're worth far more than their worn cousins. The difference can be staggering, with pristine examples fetching prices that most people wouldn't expect from a dime. Then there's the fascinating world of mint errors. Errors happen during the production process. Sometimes a coin is struck twice, or the date is doubled, or the mint mark is misplaced or missing when it shouldn't be. These anomalies are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors because they're unique. Imagine holding a dime that looks normal but has a doubled date or an off-center strike. That rarity instantly boosts its value. The 1977 Roosevelt dime has a few known varieties and errors, and finding one of these is like hitting the numismatic jackpot. Collectors prize these coins for their uniqueness, and they often end up in private collections or auction houses, fetching impressive sums. So, what does all this mean in terms of value? How much can a 1977 Roosevelt dime actually be worth? While most will remain close to their face value or a bit above, the rare, error coins in mint condition tell a different story. Believe it or not, some of these rare, perfectly preserved 1977 Roosevelt dimes with mint errors have sold for an astounding $44,000. Yes, $44,000 for a coin you might have overlooked in your pocket change. This goes to show that with coins, the story, rarity, and condition matter immensely. So next time you find a dime from 1977, take a closer look. That little piece of history could be worth a small fortune. Today, we're diving deep into the story behind a seemingly ordinary coin with extraordinary value, the United States Roosevelt dime from 1980. At first glance, this dime might look just like any other, but beneath its surface lies a fascinating tale of minting, rarity, and hidden worth that every coin enthusiast needs to know. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you could be looking at your loose change in a whole new way. The Roosevelt dime has been a symbol of American resilience and leadership since its introduction in 1946. Crafted in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, the coin features his distinguished profile on the obverse, while the reverse showcases a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, a trio symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. This design has stood the test of time, making the dime a staple in American currency for over 7 decades. Now, let's zoom in on the 1980 Roosevelt dime. This year, millions of dimes were minted across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. If you see a small D mint mark, it means the coin was minted in Denver, while the Philadelphia coins generally don't carry a mint mark. Most of these dimes have been used for everyday transactions and are quite common. However, there's a subset of 1980 dimes that's truly special, those that are in exceptional, uncirculated condition or carry rare minting errors. condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A dime that's been in circulation will show signs of wear, scratches, loss of detail, and dulled luster. But some 1980 Roosevelt dimes have been preserved in mint state, meaning they look almost brand new, with every line and detail crisp and shining. These pristine examples can fetch prices far beyond face value, especially among serious collectors, but condition isn't the only factor that can boost a dime's value. The minting process isn't perfect, and sometimes errors slip through. These might be doubled dies, where the image appears doubled, off-center strikes, or even missing mint marks. These errors are rare and highly prized because they make the coin one of a kind. Imagine holding a dime with a doubled date or a faint mint mark. That uniqueness can turn a common coin into a collector's dream. The 1980 Roosevelt dime is known to have some such rare varieties and errors. Coins that fall into this category are often sold at auctions or traded privately for impressive sums, drawing collectors who understand their rarity and value. So, what's the bottom line? How much could a 1980 Roosevelt dime actually be worth? While most will trade close to face value, those uncirculated or error coins can be worth dramatically more. Believe it or not, some of these rare 1980 Roosevelt dimes have been valued at a staggering $40,000, yes, $40,000 for a dime minted over 4 decades ago. A powerful reminder that treasures can hide in the smallest of places. If you happen to have a 1980 Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition, or one with a rare minting error, make sure to have it appraised by a professional. You might just hold a coin that's worth a small fortune. Today, we're shining a spotlight on a coin that often slips under the radar but has an incredible story and surprising value, the United States Roosevelt dime from 1991. You might think a dime from the early 90s is just pocket change, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you could be holding onto a coin worth far more than you ever imagined. The Roosevelt dime is an iconic piece of American currency, first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The design has remained largely unchanged for decades, featuring Roosevelt's profile on the front and the Torch of Liberty, along with olive and oak branches symbolizing peace and strength, on the back. This design is a tribute to one of America's most influential presidents and remains a beloved coin among collectors and everyday users alike. Now, focusing on the 1991 Roosevelt dime, millions of these were minted across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. If you spot a D mint mark on the coin, it means it came from Denver, while no mint mark typically indicates Philadelphia. Most 1991 dimes you come across will have been in circulation and show signs of wear from years of use. But it's the rare ones, those in pristine condition or with unique minting errors, that grab the attention of serious collectors. Condition plays a huge role in the value of any coin. Most dimes in circulation have scratches, worn details, and a dull surface. However, some 1991 Roosevelt dimes have been preserved in mint state, meaning they look as if they just came from the mint, sharp details, no scratches, and full original luster. These coins are highly prized and can command significant premiums over their face value, but condition alone isn't the only factor that can make a 1991 dime extraordinary. Minting errors are where things get really interesting. During the production process, mistakes can happen: doubled dies, off-center strikes, misplaced or missing mint marks, or even variations in the metal composition. These errors are incredibly rare, and when discovered, they create a buzz in the numismatic community. Collectors seek out these anomalies because they're unique and often one of a kind. The 1991 Roosevelt dime has a few known error varieties that collectors are eager to find. These rare versions turn an otherwise common dime into a prized collectible. They're often sold through auctions or to private collectors at prices far beyond typical market values. So, what kind of price tag are we talking about? While the majority of 1991 dimes won't be worth much more than their face value, those that are uncirculated or feature rare minting errors can fetch astonishing amounts. Believe it or not, some of these special 1991 Roosevelt dimes have been valued at $38,000, yes, $38,000 for a dime minted just over 30 years ago. Proof that even modern coins can hold incredible value when rarity and condition come together. If you think you might have one of these rare gems, it's definitely worth getting it checked out by a professional coin appraiser. You never know, you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story behind a coin you might find in your pocket change but could hold a surprising value, the 1981 Roosevelt dime from the United States. It's a coin that seems ordinary at first glance but has some hidden secrets that make it a true gem for collectors. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this dime could be worth much more than you think. The Roosevelt dime has been a beloved part of American currency since it was first introduced in 1946, created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Known for his leadership during some of the toughest times in American history, Roosevelt's profile graces the front of the coin, symbolizing strength and resilience. The reverse features a torch representing liberty, flanked by olive and oak branches symbolizing peace and strength, symbols that have remained unchanged for decades, making this coin a true piece of American heritage. Now, turning our attention to the 1981 Roosevelt dime, it's important to note that millions of these coins were minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The mint mark is a small but important detail. If you see a D on your dime, it means it was minted in Denver. Philadelphia coins typically have no mint mark. Most of these dimes were made for everyday use, so they often show the signs of circulation like scratches and wear, which generally lowers their value. However, the story gets interesting when we talk about coins in exceptional condition or those with rare minting anomalies. Condition is absolutely crucial when it comes to coin collecting. Coins that have been handled, circulated, and exchanged countless times often lose their original luster and detail. But some 1981 dimes have been preserved in mint state, meaning they still shine bright with sharp details intact as if they just came off the production line. These uncirculated coins are highly sought after by collectors because they maintain the coin's original beauty and detail, but it's not just condition that can make a 1981 Roosevelt dime special. Minting errors can turn a simple dime into a collector's treasure. Errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, missing or misplaced mint marks, or even unusual metal compositions can create coins that are rare and unique. These mint errors are fascinating because they're mistakes that the mint didn't intend to produce, making each one a one-of-a-kind piece. The 1981 Roosevelt dime has a few known varieties and errors that collectors love to hunt for. If you happen to find one of these rare coins, it can command a price much higher than the average dime. Auction houses and private collectors often compete fiercely to add these unique coins to their collections. So, what kind of value are we talking about here? While most 1981 dimes are worth little more than their face value, those in pristine condition or with rare errors can be worth something truly impressive. In fact, some of these rare and well-preserved 1981 Roosevelt dimes have been valued at an astonishing $43,500. Yes, $43,500 for a dime minted over 4 decades ago. A stunning example of how rarity, condition, and history combine to create incredible value. If you think you might have one of these rare dimes, it's worth getting it professionally appraised. You might be surprised by what you discover hidden in your coin collection. Today, we're zooming in on a classic piece from American currency, the Roosevelt dime from 1980. On the surface, it might just look like your everyday dime, but trust me, this little coin has a fascinating background and could be worth far more than you'd expect. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple in U.S. currency since 1946, introduced as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was not only a revered leader during some of the most challenging times in American history, but he was also a champion of the fight against polio, which inspired the dime's creation. The coin's design features Roosevelt's dignified profile on the obverse, symbolizing resilience and leadership, while the reverse showcases a torch of liberty flanked by olive and oak branches, representing peace and strength. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, making it a beloved and recognizable coin across generations. Now, focusing on the 1980 Roosevelt dime, it's important to understand that millions were minted in that year at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. If you find a D mint mark on your dime, that means it came from Denver, whereas no mint mark typically indicates Philadelphia. While these coins were produced in massive numbers and were intended for everyday circulation, the real value lies in the condition and rarity of certain versions. Most 1980 dimes you come across will show signs of wear from years of being passed around, scratches, worn details, and a dull finish. But some have managed to escape the wear and tear of circulation, remaining in pristine, uncirculated condition. These mint state dimes are highly sought after by collectors, as they still hold the sharp details and original shine that the mint intended. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin, but what really intrigues collectors are the rare minting errors and variations that occasionally occur. Minting is a complex process, and sometimes errors happen: doubled dies, off-center strikes, misplaced or missing mint marks, or even unusual metal compositions. These errors are prized because they're mistakes that create unique coins, each with its own story and rarity. The 1980 Roosevelt dime has a handful of known error varieties that can turn a common coin into a collector's treasure. These rare dimes are like hidden gems that collectors race to find, and when they surface, they can fetch impressive prices at auctions or in private sales. So, how much can a 1980 Roosevelt dime be worth? While the vast majority of these coins won't be worth more than their face value, those in flawless condition or with unique minting errors can command prices that surprise even seasoned collectors. Believe it or not, some of these rare and exceptional 1980 Roosevelt dimes have been valued at $39,400. Yes, $39,400 for a single dime minted just over 40 years ago, a powerful reminder that sometimes, the smallest coins can hold the biggest treasures. If you think you may have one of these rare finds tucked away in your coin jar or collection, it's definitely worth having it examined by a professional appraiser. You might be sitting on something truly special. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1980 Roosevelt dime and want to discover more about valuable coins and their fascinating histories, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an exciting update. Have you ever uncovered a coin worth more than you expected? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear about your coin hunting adventures. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and happy treasure hunting.